Now, for the match that had the highest implications of any match on this card, Kai KaraFrance. Did he live up to the nickname Don't Blink in this one? Almost, brother. He was putting it on Askarov, man, piecing the man up time and time again. This was a big, long layoff for Askar Askarov, who had to deal with a wrist surgery after his last fight. He missed weight after beating Joseph Benavidez in his last one, man. You know, he has all these issues coming in, but either way, he was winning until he wasn't, bro. The gas tank seemed to be a little bit of an issue towards the latter half of the fight, but Kai KaraFrance, I apologize because he has one of the tongue twister names in the UFC's flyweight division. The thing that you got to love about him is the hand speed, AJ. Hand speed is the only thing I could think about when I talk about KaraFrance, because this dude's striking is impeccable coming out of City Kickboxing. Where are the other flyweights from City Kickboxing? He's like the only one, man, and he's putting them on the map in terms of the small man division to be able to have incredible balance, incredible takedown defense. When I'm looking at it right now, Askar Askarov was 2 for 14 in his takedown attempts, brother. That is pretty legit when you're talking about an Askarov who takes everybody down and he's on them like white on rice, brother. It's game over once he gets you to the ground. Not for Kai KaraFrance. He outstruck Askarov 64-37, so it was a low volume type of fight, but it was exciting nonetheless. What did you make of this fight? This was a huge win by Kai KaraFrance, but does a win over Askar Askarov automatically put you into that title contention next up after Figgy versus Moreno 4, or does he have a little bit more work to do?
No, I think it puts you up there. I think if not, then maybe like a contender for Pantoja fight. We might see something like that. We might see some funkiness in there because it wasn't the most dominating win by KaraFrance. Even though it was a very impressive win, it wasn't the most dominating. We didn't see the knockout. It was more of a Askarov trying, and I guarantee those first 2 takedowns, those were in the first round, maybe the second round. Maybe got one in the second round, but definitely early on in the fight, and then started losing that gas tank, kind of started dumping out. Not necessarily being as dominating of a fighter as Askarov usually is. So that's where we were able to see KaraFrance kind of defend a little bit more, use his hand speed because he does have amazingly fast hands, but wasn't able to actually find the knockout. So does that sign him up right away to be number 3 where you're able to get that shot after the Figgy Moreno squared off? I can see the argument why, but it almost feels like maybe it's because I'm being a pessimist tonight, but maybe it's because, or I'm thinking it's going to go a little bit more towards the fact we're going to see a Pantoja, we're going to see a scrap going that way, and then we see somebody jump into it if they're able to get a more impressive win. I don't know. What do you think, Derek? Do you see Pantoja in the light, or is he signed up to fight next for the champ?
I think you got to give Pantoja something, right? I don't think that what Kai KaraFrance did was definitive enough to necessarily solidify, like there's no questions asked, you are next for the title. And the reason why is because Askar Askarov, like I said, there's been a little bit of a layoff, man. He's number 2 in the division, yes, but he hasn't been fighting as active as some of the other fighters. So how big is this win necessarily, especially given the case that there are a lot of people who are making the case that say Askar Askarov won round 1 and rounds 3 of this fight. Now, I don't agree. I'm not in that camp. I do think that the right man got his hand raised in this fight. But what would your rebuttal be, AJ, to somebody that does say rounds 1 and 3 went to Askar Askarov and Kai KaraFrance kind of got a gimme in this one?
Yeah, I don't see it that way. I don't see Askarov winning round 3 at all. I think he tired out. When you tire out, you take your foot off the gas pedal, and your other guy is able to stop what you're doing when everybody knows that you're the best at this certain aspect, whether it's hands or the feet, and the other guy is able to outplay you in your own field. I don't think it's a win. I don't see it at all. It's usually not a win, and in this case, I agree with the judges. It was not a win for Askarov either.
Yep, so let me just pull it up real fast, brother. So it appears the case that when I look at MMA decisions, because I was a little interested, just wanted to see where we're at with this, the majority of the people give it to KaraFrance, 29-28, no problem. I will say there are 4 people who do say that Askarov got the job done, but it was an overwhelming majority in favor of Kai KaraFrance. Probably, if I have to take a guess, this is like 15-20 to like 4, right? So overwhelming in favor of Kai KaraFrance. You'd love to see that. I just want to see a little consensus from time to time because you know what I mean, judges, right? You can't leave it up to them, but at the end of the day, I would have liked to see it a little more convincing, but a lot of people didn't think that Askarov could win, or that Kai KaraFrance could win against Askarov in the first place. So this is a big win for Don't Blink Kai KaraFrance, but I do imagine he would have to fight a Pantoja. He'd have to fight. Let's take a look real quick, AJ. I know this isn't the rankings review right here, but let's take a quick look at the flyweight division and see who are contenders in that top 5. So you got Brandon Moreno at 1, Askar Askarov 2, Alexandre Pantoja 3, Alex Perez at 4, Brandon Royval at 4. They're kind of tied at 4 in the newest UFC drop right there, and then Kai KaraFrance at 6. So I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Askar Askarov was supposed to fight Alex Perez or something like that, and then the bout, got canceled because he had to go get wrist surgery and all that good stuff. So either an Alex Perez or an Alexandre Pantoja, I do think you're gonna have to fight one more to really solidify it. But then again, AJ, Davison Figueiredo, he's trying to play mind games with Assassin Baby and say, hey, man, listen, that Kiwi, Kai KaraFrance, he gets the next shot, and we'll see what happens. Maybe you'll get a shot after him, depending after, I demolish the man. But the Deuce de Guerra, he's talking big right now, man. So hopefully he can back it up when he fights Moreno for the 4th time. We will see what happens. Huge win by Kai KaraFrance, putting City Kickboxing kind of back on the map, man, because it's been a little bit of a slump for them as of late. But either way, that's neither here nor there.